point of arrest, they have to be arrested.
Do you think, that a community like, San Francisco, where there are paying rights to those communities now, and besides you got like, besides this, the street organization, do you think that there should be more resources, or do you think that you guys are going to like the community when they can help these guys and
I mean, because the economy is like really, really bad right now. Like a lot of stuff has been changed, a lot of programs are being cut. But what the direction that they're going in right now is like really like holding people like accountable, like the people that are doing the work that like we do. Like they're really holding people accountable, and I think that's really important because for a long time I felt like there was a lot of like people out there that were getting a lot of money for like supposedly doing stuff, but they really weren't. And so now that like people really have to like be kind of like tight about the money and who gets what. I think that we'll start seeing like some really good changes. I mean, but like yeah, there's a lot of cuts for a lot of jobs right now, and so I would say like that's like our biggest thing. Like, I mean, the programs are still the same. If anything, they're closing some down that shouldn't be closed, but they're putting money into like places where like it's bigger and they feel like they can house more kids. So yeah, I mean it's had its fair share. It could be better. Things could be better. Like I would say, like I would want more jobs for you, more opportunities for like scholarships or whatever. Because I think it's like to house somebody for 1 year in a juvenile detention center was it 150,000 or 250,000? And a scholarship to go to college is like $2,500. So do the math, like you know what I mean? Like it's nuts. It's crazy. Like if y'all wanted to do some real research, look that up. I just went to a presentation on Thursday, and they looked up how much it costs to send somebody to college. Like just like maybe like to like City College or like to like a 4-year university versus like sending them to just like comparing to like 1 year in the juvenile justice system. And I believe it's like something super ridiculous. Like so I mean they definitely got their stuff backwards.
More questions? I know you guys have more questions. Yeah.
As you know, you guys kind of just pick up the kids and try to help them out, give them therapy and whatnot. What have you guys done to make sure that doesn't even happen? I mean, have you guys done anything to like kind of just tell kids, hey, don't do that, or you might see any kind of thing, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, like preventative work?
Yeah.
I can say for Clark, like we haven't done any preventative work just because our job is not that, but there are like community-based organizations that we work with every day that do that. Depending on what neighborhood and what experience you guys had, like just within this area alone, I can say like the Boys and Girls Club down the street, they do great preventative work. Imelda and Jamal and them over there, the Excelsior Teen Center, they do great work right there on Mission. You guys are from like the Ingleside area, ICY does great work. Tailor-made program at the Beacon Center. I mean, yeah, there's like a lot of preventative stuff within the school, so I think that's cool. But we definitely don't. Yeah. So you only, I mean, if you guys ever see this, it'll be like if you guys were ever arrested. Unfortunately.
Our bigger organization does more preventative stuff, like, so people from the Full Street Clinic, it's a little different, but people from Full Street will come into the schools and teach about, like, prevention, STDs, healthy relationships, and that kind of stuff. And there's some other preventative programs. And I think, too, like, sometimes we get calls from parents or from teachers, or mostly parents and teachers, who are like, my kid is like on the path to getting arrested, what do I do? And so I think that's what Harvey was saying too, like then people will call us and we'll give referrals out, hopefully trying to prevent getting arrested, but
How long have you guys been in this line of work?
I love telling. So when I was 15, with my school, you could volunteer and get community service credit. And so I started working at this Mexican shelter in my neighborhood, and now I'm allowed to live in 15. And so I've been in this field for like 20 years probably, just doing a lot of domestic violence stuff, and then work in jail, and almost always with kids.
I've been formally working within this field for about 8 years. Yeah, about 8 years.
How do you feel about youth offenders being illegally incarcerated, searched and incarcerated?
I don't like it.
You know, like,
Yeah, I really don't. Like, all like the gang, if you guys know about gang injunctions, and you guys know about you know, what's it called, what's the term, profiling? Like profiling, I don't like that. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm a victim of profiling every day. You know what I mean? So I totally don't agree with it. Like, it's a violation of your rights. Like, I mean, unfortunately, yeah, we're on camera, but let me just say this, like, you know, you have to follow, like, what an officer tells you to do, and if you really ain't got nothing to hide, then, you know, you just gotta go with the flow, you know what I mean? And that's the way I just kinda go with it, but I really don't agree with it.
Well, and our case managers know so much, and so they're always, like, if a kid gets arrested and, like, they haven't read them their rights,
Yeah.
or if they've, like, you know, hurt them in some way, then we always have referrals to, what is it?
OCC, Office of Citizen and Complaint. So if you're ever arrested, you better know your rights, you know what I mean? The officer's obligated, if they detain you, they have to not only read you your rights, but also they have to, notify your parents within a certain amount of time. So before they can really even do anything with you, if you you know how they tell you have the right to remain silent, you can stay silent, you know what I mean, until your parents get there. So you know what I mean? So like all of that, like you do have rights. There's actually on the San Francisco website, there's like, if you just Google Know Your Rights San Francisco, there's like a whole ton of brochures on like all your rights and stuff, like if you ever come in contact with the police. I can even forward that to your teacher and send it to you guys if you guys want that. It's really important that you guys know your rights.
I have a question. How different is the system from when you were a teenager now?
Oh, man. Yeah, that's a great question. Want to go first?
I don't know what I would say. I'm not from California, so I feel like things are way different where I'm from.
I mean, for me being here, like, I can honestly say, like, you either got let go, or you were getting locked up. It's just like one or the other. There wasn't no program like that. And so for the kids that like just got let go, they either got it and were just like, yo, I got hella lucky and I'm not going back, or they're just like, oh, I got away with it this time. I'm gonna go ahead and do it again. Like, you know what I mean? So between then and now, I would say like we have a great system that's like in place. It can definitely can get better, but for what we have, like I always say, like we're really fortunate. That's why I started off with my conversation saying we're really lucky. Because there's like the city has now known, I mean, it was basically through trial and error that they figured out that like, yo, like this is a better way of doing this than just locking somebody up. Because like yeah, you guys aren't missing out on nothing at juvenile hall. I can tell you guys that right now.
So, do you know the statistics of an offender that went through you guys' system, but later in life was tried again as an adult?
Oh, yeah, that I don't know, because we stopped measuring them like after so like the way our stats go is the way that they measure it every month on the success rate, and then they do again at the very end of the year, like our quarter system. So like every July is like a new physical year, right? And so every July they would like measure like if anybody got rearrested within that year. And so like our success rate's really high. Like I think it's like 87% non-rearrested in 1 year. So like, I mean, I think that's really good. Yeah.
And a lot of, it's different kids, like we get kids who are done a little bit more minor crimes, but like the recidivism, you guys know recidivism?
Oh.
It's getting rearrested, right?
Yeah.
So if you
Reoffending.
recidivate, then you've been rearrested.
Yeah.
So our rates are like 87% kids do not recidivate, so they do not get rearrested.
Yeah.
And a lot of times kids who go like straight to the hall, I think their rates are like 40%
It's pretty high.
get rearrested.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
I mean, not rearrested.
Yeah.
Okay. For you, so Can I ask where do you actually come from? Is it even the state?
I,
Because it could be different. I want to just see like the comparison, differences between San Francisco and.
so I grew up in Massachusetts, and I spent a lot of time in New York City.
Would you say it's like kind of the same or?
In New York City, yeah. Like New York City, there's a lot of people kind of doing what we do, like trying to do restorative programs or rehabilitative programs. Massachusetts, I don't really know. I feel like they're probably a little.
More on the community side.
Do you guys treat offenders that has been tried with a more serious crime any different than ones with misdemeanors? Has it been any harder,
No. I mean, I would just say that depending on like the youth, like really like how they're like when they're brought in and how they're acting and stuff like that, I may take like a different approach to them, like when I'm trying to talk to them and stuff. So for a kid that's like facing a charge who like, let's say like how you said misdemeanor and a felony, right? Somebody with a misdemeanor, like depending on like their attitude, it kind of just depends on like how they are. But like for a youth who just got in trouble for like a felony, I'm letting them know like for real, like this is the business, like if you get in trouble between now and then, by the time your case is over, you're gonna get locked up. So I mean that's like the conversation I may have with that person versus a misdemeanor kid. You know what I mean? But that's other than that, like same level quality of service. Like I don't care if you came in for an infraction, that's like the lowest level. Like I'll still tell you like, yo, you got in trouble, you got arrested, like, it's just as bad. Yeah.
What you guys major in college? To get in.
So I majored in child and adolescent development. I went to San Francisco State. Yeah.
And I majored in psychology.
Yeah.
I have another question. What's the maximum amount of students that take advantage of programs like yours? And how do you feel about self-estimate?
I would say, because I think the case managers do a really good job of selling what we do. Like, dude, if you work with me on this, you can get you a job, and so kids are like, okay, great, done, I'll work with you. But then there are a lot of kids too who have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of services, and they're like, I don't need any help, I'm good. So I would say 10-20% don't work with us.
It's a low number, I don't know, but you can find out and we can give it to your teacher if you want afterwards, for sure, promise.
How do you feel about those situations?
About what estimations? About the kids who don't work with us?
And who do work?
I mean, like Harvey was saying, I think somebody's got to want help to be able to really get the help that they need. And so kids who decide, you know what, I'm cool, I don't need your help, that's their right? And I think, but then of course, the kids who do come to our program get so much help that I think they really benefit a lot. So I'm always trying to get people to work with us, but it's voluntary, so not
Yeah, I think so too, yeah. I mean, I would love to help every single person that walks through the door, but they gotta want it. So like for that like low number that like the 10 or 20% that don't access our services, they probably already either like one is already hooked up with a whole bunch of stuff, or they really just had that one bad day and really just don't need anything, so yeah. Cool. Good. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Round of applause. Thank you. Okay, so for the next 20 minutes, I want you to look back, think of some quotes that might be helpful for you to make your video for exhibition, and write down those quotes, your best analysis, summarize the discussion. There was a very rich discussion here, so think back, reflect, and try to process, so turn to the next page in your handout, pretty much. Turn to the next page in your handout. So just think of one specific quote that could really help you here. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Good
Yeah,
question.
take care. Great job, guys. Oh, we want to see the stuff too, you guys done, please.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You guys are an excellent audience. Thank you.
I think it's still recording.
What's that?
I think it's still recording.
I think it's still recording. You are correct.